When it comes to collaborating with Australian sneaker stores, there is really no one better than Asics in 2025. Today we're looking at the Asics Gel Cumulus 16 in collaboration with Australian sneaker store Finesse. And not only did I manage to get a pair for myself, but with the fact that Finesse is a female-owned store, has a female design team, I had to go and get a pair for my wife too. As you can see, they look great not only in big sizes, but in female sizes too. And today we're going to break down the Finesse store and Asics collaboration, the comfort and sizing on this Gel Cumulus 16, tell you how you can get a pair yourself as well, and just have an overall chat as to how Asics and Australian sneaker stores have been doing so many good things together. This is Best Foot Forward Shoes. My name is Harrison Cable. Again, thank you so much to everybody for joining me. I really do appreciate it. We are super close to 6,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, which is insane. Thank you so much to everybody for listening, for watching the podcasts, checking out these sneaker reviews. I really do appreciate it. One quick shout out I did want to make is to Laces and Life. Thank you so much guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Go check them out on Instagram. You can see their tag just down here. So again, thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let's chat today about one of my favorite Asics shoes of the entire year. And yes, I may be a little bit biased being Australian myself, this being an Australian store, but I think that's one of the great things about sneakers is connecting your local scene, people who are passionate about sneakers, and really trying to do something new and different with sneakers. For a little bit of context, Finesse is a store that was founded in 2015 down in Melbourne, Australia, and they have moved to a couple of different stores at this point, but they recently did just open up a new store down in Fitzroy. This pair has been in the works for a little bit, but it is finally getting a general release on Asics websites on November 14th for $250 Australian, which is roughly about $180 US. There are a ton of local boutiques selling this shoe here in Australia and even a couple overseas, which I've seen. So these are not just an Australian exclusive. You're going to be able to get these even if you're overseas in London, the UK, in America, etc. And like I said, I couldn't just have one pair of these all to myself. And as you can see on screen here, I'm matching here with my wife. She loves this pair. And I just think it's such a cool moment that we can get identical pairs. And of course, I am trying to get my wife to be a little bit more into sneakers and try to kind of share the passion that I have, but we're slowly getting there. Don't worry guys. Now Finesse is mainly known for having a lot of female offerings on sneakers, so they offer a lot of lower sizes. There's a lot of female only exclusive sneakers, say from Jordans or Nike sneakers that only really come in women's sizings. So this is not exactly going to be very friendly for people who have large foot sizes, pretty much from anything from an 11 men's above. They don't really have that, but if you're a guy from say size 5 up to a size 10, perfectly fine for you. And then they have all the female sizes from probably about an 11.5 women's down. Now this shoe is called the Desert Rose. So in Australia there is a rose called the Sturt Desert Rose, which grows in very adverse conditions. It grows in the desert. It needs very little water to survive and yet is still incredibly beautiful. It has this very nice off pink hue, and those visual cues are also seen on the sneakers. You can see that faded pink on the Asics logo on the side here, which is overlaid onto these clear plastic translucent overlays. You also see that pink color on the toggle laces as well, and also on the Asics logo on the tongue here. Now, to be a sneaker store in Australia in a very competitive fashion and sneaker scene, you really do have to weather a lot of those adverse conditions and be very tough, which I think is a great metaphor for the Desert Rose, because Finesse store has grown from nothing pretty much and has been able to thrive in a very competitive market, and they're seeing the fruits of their labor with this very cool unique offering on the Gel Cumulus 16. So let's talk a little bit about this model. We do have the Gel Cumulus 16 in a couple of different collaborations this year. It is a model that Asics is trying to push. You saw that 7-way collab where 7 different sneaker stores from around the world all came together on the Cumulus 16. And if I'm comparing them to some other well-known models like the Kayano 14, the Kayano 20, even the Nimbus 10.1, to be honest, these are actually a little bit more comfortable than those models. I had a lot more padding around the front toe box. I really like the solid heel counter on the back here. It does have the exact same sole as the Asics Gel NYC, but however the upper does feel a little bit more elongated, and it definitely can allow for a little bit more toe room, and just kind of has a little bit more padding around the midfoot and the ankle, which I really do like. Sometimes with the Gel Nimbus 10.1 I can feel like there's a lot of padding around the back, but then absolutely nothing around the front toe box at all. So it's kind of nice having a nice padded tongue and toe box on a lifestyle model like this. For sizing, I did go with a regular true to size, which is a size 9 US, which is 42.5 euro, and I would absolutely recommend that. I had a tiny little bit of room, probably about a finger width at the front here, but of course, as I said, it's padded, so even even if you are going pretty hard up against the toe box, you're not going to feel uncomfortable at all. So I would definitely recommend going with your other Asics true to size, whatever you would get in a Kayano 14, etc. The pair that came from my wife directly from the Finesse store actually came with this really cool carabiner. It says Asics and Finesse co-branded on the little carabiner here. There is actually no Finesse branding on the shoe, which makes me think that this was a special makeup from Asics. So basically what that is that making a collaboration is of course very expensive. And this being the very first one from Finesse store, it was probably hard for Asics to actually change their design process and put a company's logo onto their shoe. So what they've done is allowed Finesse store to design a shoe based on the existing materials in their stock base, but they haven't actually put their name on the shoe. But they did have an exclusive Finesse release on the 7th, so they basically got first dibs on this shoe and then are allowed to co-brand on the marketing for the worldwide release on November 14th. So that's one reason why you're probably not seeing any Finesse branding on the outside of the shoe. But man, some of the materials that they've chosen for this is really, really cool. You've got an almost lace-like mesh around the front toe box and around the midfoot as well. Very breathable, very nice. And as we're coming into summer here in Australia, it really does allow for a lot of air to come through the shoe. And if you're going to be walking in these all day, you're going to be perfectly fine. It's not going to be too hot. There is some special sort of materials on the tongue as well. It's this very nice, almost diamond stitched pattern. And as I said before, it is very well padded. You're getting a lot of comfort from the tongue here. And then also similarly around the back heel tab as well. And it really does add to the cohesive colorway of this shoe. You've got mainly black, cream, white, and then of course that little hit of faded pink on the front tip. So overall, man, I'm a huge fan of these. Of course, I'm Australian. I got a pair for my wife. So I think this is a shoe that is always going to have a bit of a special place in my heart. Asics has just been absolutely killing it this year. They did collaborations with Above the Cloud store, which is a store in Sydney, Australia. They've done collaborations, 2 shoes actually, with Up There store in Australia. And just overall, I love all the things that Asics has done this year. They've had such a strong year. Collections with Kith, Vandy the Pink, that toga colorway was really, really nice. And then of course the upcoming Hidden New York pair. So all of these shoes are just absolutely killer. And I think that Finesse and Asics has absolutely smashed it on this shoe. And I'm a huge fan. So you can pick these up still on November 14th. I think that they will probably sit around in some stores. They did sell out from the Finesse exclusive release, but I have a feeling that these will probably sit because the stock numbers of this is probably very, very high. So when I release this, you probably can still pick these ones up. And if that's the case, I'll put a link down in the description below so you can check that out. Also down there, you'll be able to see my Instagram. You'll be able to see the podcast link. We've done some really awesome podcasts and I'm going to be releasing a bunch more with a bunch of awesome creators this year. We've done a top 10 Adidas list so far. We'll be doing a top 10 Jordans, New Balance, Nike, etc., etc. We're going to keep going. This end of the year is going to be awesome. And I'm excited to see what everyone thinks about this shoe. So thank you again, everybody, for watching. I really do appreciate it. We'll see you again next week for another video. Have a good day.